Oh, okay. There we go. And we're in. All right, cool. All right. We are here. Hi, Nehu. How are you? What's going on? How are you? You miss me. Well, I'm here now. Isn't that enough? We'll see. We'll see. There we go. What are you talking about? Strive for more, Nehu. Kingston, welcome back. Thanks for being here. You got here. You did get here quite fast, Kingston. I will say that. Khaled, hello from Algeria. That's interesting. All the way in Algeria. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Abhisek, I think. I probably said that wrong. I'm sorry if I did. What's that? Who? What? If I'm, I would hope you. I would hope you wouldn't be settling, Nehu. You said me being enough. Let's see. Ozone. Why do I think both Techfiber and Wilson copied the Young Season cosmetic blue cosmetic? Well, I think Wilson had already planned, like, with the Wilson Ultra, the Yonex E Zone, and everything. Those rackets, they were already blue, and they were already kind of just like figuring out how to make another blue racket. So Yonex, I think, just made the racket first, and then Wilson already had their color set. But then because Yonex released earlier, Wilson was kind of like, oh, people are just going to think that we're copying them, which, as you can see, Ozone, from your comment, that's what most people were thinking about. But I think Wilson already had that color of blue picked out before Yonex even released the E Zone. But it's kind of hard to have different shades of blue and not think you're copying someone else. But with Technofiber, I think Technofiber might have also just like asked Iga and Danielle what color they liked the best, and I guess that's just what they decided to go with. I don't, I don't really know why Technofiber did it. I thought it was a weird choice, but yeah, I'm not sure. It popped up. Yeah, man. Let's see. Carvana, what's up? How are you? The Minutemen ask you anything about Fallout? What's your favorite game? Smart Life, happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Horizon, you're trying to get convinced to play Fallout? I think it depends on which game you want to play. Nehu, like the live stream, everyone. Well, thanks, Nehu. I appreciate it. Garsha, I don't have a Bugatti. Kingston, you thought I was going to start at 8:30. I did too, but I mean, I start. I think a few minutes early wouldn't hurt anyone. I was already here and ready, so I was like, we'll go for it. Chris, what's going on here? So, Chris, basically, what this live stream is for, I'm here to help out, answer any tennis gear related question if I can. Just kind of like help out as much as possible. Sometimes, though, that is not going to be the case because not everyone wants to talk about tennis, which completely okay, completely fine. And then we all just kind of like talk about whatever and hang out. that's kind of what we got going on, man. Guts, why am I wearing glasses? Because I'm wearing these glasses, Guts, just so that way when I look at my phone, look at my computer, I can actually sleep better because it stops the blue light from getting into my eyes. That is why I'm wearing these glasses. Midman Fall 4, very nice. Those on which player not named Sin Karaz do I think will win a Slam in 2026? Or are we locked into Sin Karaz finals? I think for the most part we're probably locked into those finals. If someone is going to take a Grand Slam, statistically, I think you have to say it's going to be Zverev, just because he is statistically the best player to not win a Grand Slam. I think they have officially given him that title, and that statistic has come out. So I would think if it's not going to be Sinner or Alcaraz, it would probably be him. But it also depends on like how the draws shape out, or if anyone decides to just go on an absolute tear of a year or anything. Ozon. Carvana, happy Thanksgiving to you. Hansla, happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Florf, apparently I'm Tony Stark. Interesting. Nehu, anything for you? Thank you. Thanks, Nehu. I appreciate it. Not Addie, happy Thanksgiving. Joji, yo, bro, you didn't even go to the Thanksgiving with your family. It's sad because your dad said you have to go on Wednesday after your birthday. It's on the 3rd. Well, at least you're still getting one, Joji. At least you're still going to be able to have some sort of Thanksgiving. YouTube, I look like Matt Murdock, Daredevil from the Marvel comics. Interesting. Okay. I haven't read them, but okay. Drexton, what's up? How we doing? Joji, you don't really like your dad, but you still love him no matter what. Yeah, man. He's don't hate on your dad, Joji. Skyrim, no, I have not watched Stranger Things. Maroc, what's up? How we doing? Kingston, happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well, Kingston. And happy Thanksgiving to you as well, L. Thank you. I appreciate it. Kingston, you do have a crown. Drexton, welcome back. Joker Man, great dad joke. I liked it. Aya, what's up? How are you? Am I? Am I? I look like I teach math? Nah, dude. I am no school teacher. Yeah, Drexen, I know you were here. I know you were here last time. Do I play the guitar? No, I do not play the guitar. I have thought about learning to play the guitar, but I do not. I do not play the guitar. Similore? Similore? Well, happy birthday, bro. Very nice. Congratulations. Joji, what was my favorite ice cream? It's probably just vanilla. Aya, you're having your morning Nescaf. Nice. User, what's up? Ukel, hello. Drexton, yes, I love dogs. Dogs are so much better than cats. Varu, I'm sorry, I don't know what language you're speaking. I don't know what that is. Joji, it's all good. You'll get your food soon. Ukel, what am I wearing? I'm wearing a sweater. That is what I'm wearing. And jeans. Kushal, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Joji, you're hungry and you know we're together and then live by yourself and lonely. Joji, what? What are you talking about, dude? MG, MI, it's stupid. It's one of the stupidest things I've ever heard of because there's no actual like explanation or reasoning for it. Uh, Plankton. Where am I from? I'm from the U.S. Weston, what's up? Haley, I think that answer is going to differ for everyone else, so I don't really think that there's a good one to give you. Joji just hating on my ice cream flavor. So sad. Thanks for the birthday wishes. And Samuel, you don't pronounce my name well, so just call me Sam. Sounds good, man. MJ, nice. Sorry. Uh, these glasses don't have a prescription in them, so when I looked, I saw like M. I saw M, and then I thought I saw an I in there first. So, all right, MJ, cool. Drexen, you love the streams. Made sure you're here. Thanks, Drexen. I appreciate it. Samuel, well, if you want to learn, I can teach you. Yes, Samuel. How do I say it? Please give me the phonetics. MJ, hey, you have a crown too. Nice. Ozon, have I ever played a set with the original OG Pro Staff 85 and weighed like a ton? No. I have not played with the OG Pro Staff 85. I don't even think I've ever actually seen one in person. But yeah, I have not got to play with it. Am I excited for the football World Cup? You're very excited. I honestly I don't watch football or soccer, so it's not even on my radar at all. But I'm glad you're excited about it. Sean, welcome to the channel about tennis, where the least spoken topic is tennis. Just kidding, bro. It's all good, Kushal. I mean, for the live streams, it's not a bad assessment. Like the live streams, half the time we do, well, probably like a fourth of the time we do, and 3/4 of the time we don't. So it's not you're not wrong. Steve, have I ever changed the pallets off of a racket handle? How feasible is it to do it to change grip size? Steve, I have never changed a pallet personally. I know that some stores and shops do offer that as a service, but I think they only do it with head rackets. I personally don't necessarily like the idea just because even though it may have been designed and able to do it, I think it can sometimes just be a little bit harder on the racket itself to where it can sometimes damage the frame. But that's just my take on it. I personally don't do it, but some people do and they've been able to make it work. I just think it's based off what you would prefer. Weston, how was Thanksgiving? Thanksgiving was fine. I got to see some family that I hadn't seen in a while, so that was cool. But overall, it was just fine. It was just another day with more food than usual for all of them to eat. MJ, I'm good. Awesome. Toby, are they specific X-ray glasses? Nah, man, they're just blue light blocking glasses. That's it. Drexen, you were thinking about it, and then you remembered it was happening. Thanks for streaming. Of course, Drexen. Ramen, just a thumbs up. Cool. Smokey, hey, just got here. What's the channel about? So, Smokey, the channel is typically about tennis. So, we talk about anything like tennis gear, strings, shoes, or anything like that. That's usually where my area of expertise tends to fall. But here on the live stream, I'm here to help out as much as I can with that. However, we almost always get off topic about and not talk about tennis. And so, when that happens, we just all kind of like hang out, have fun, talk about whatever. And that's about it. All right. Shame Lore. Or is it Shami Lore? Shamilore. Please tell me if I said that correctly. Drexen, thank you, of course. Oh, was not, apparently Sampras weighted it at like 420 grams. That's a plank. Yeah, that's insane if it was 420 grams. That's ridiculous. Kushal, did I eat a turkey today? I had some turkey. I did not eat a lot of turkey. Joe, I get it, Joji. Sometimes I bet that is hard, man. Just being alone all the time. Drexen, how's Kirby? Kirby's fine. He's in his usual spot. He'll make his appearance later on at some point. Weston, the elves come tomorrow. Bye. Interesting, Weston, but bye. Old Town. Beginner here of 4 months. Clash V3 good. You're an adult male and your coach is saying get a super light racket. Thoughts? Old Town, if you've only been playing for 4 months, the clash would be fine. But I don't necessarily think going super light would probably be the best, depending upon how old you are. The Clash in itself, the racket line in general is designed to be more arm friendly, so it is going to be very easy on the arm to help prevent tennis elbow as you're beginning and learning the correct and proper form. But going super light, I think that might be a little bit. I don't know if I would necessarily go with that, just because if you start super light, you can really start to overswing, and if you overswing, then it could potentially lead you to throwing your arm out, and the racket isn't necessarily going to help with that. So I would probably look towards more of, say, like the standard weight for the Clash, obviously not knowing you, but you just saying you're an adult male. That's typically where I start most adult males is around the standard weight. But if you have the ability to demo Old Town, demo the Clash first. Demo both the normal weight and the 100L. That way you can try both weights, see what works better, and then your coach can see what weight works better for you. And you can make the best decision based off of what you actually feel playing with it. Just going off what you said, I would probably lean towards the heavier one. However, if you demo both and you like the lighter one, great, perfect. We can always make it heavier. If you get the heavier one and it's too heavy, then you can't really make the racket lighter. So if you can, please demo just to make sure that you have the best chance to know what you need to do and anything else like that. That is where I would say to begin Old Town, and I hope that helps. Here, we Arabs, when we gather, at least we stay together till 4 a.m. Interesting. Okay. Can I subscribe so you can teach your language? Maybe man. Not correct. Okay. Then what am I saying? What am I saying wrong in there? We don't gather much, so maybe because of that. Interesting. Elm, no, I am not. Joji, calm down. Joji, you cannot say whatever you want. because I will kick you out of the chat if you can if you think you can do that. AK, what's up? Charlie, hello. Welcome back. How are you? Kishal, you always wanted to eat a stuffed Thanksgiving turkey. You've heard a lot about it. Interesting. I mean, you could. I'm sure you could probably find one somewhere in Canada. Maybe. Ramen ka uh, Ra- Ramen, I see you're speaking Japanese. I can't remember what uh the middle symbol is. But I know if I'm right, the smaller one is toe, but I'm sorry, I don't remember what you're I can't remember what that middle katakana is, so I don't remember. Charlie, I'm doing good. How are you? Oh, you're doing good. You already answered the question. Nice. Yeah. We finished with Thanksgiving earlier with my family and I. We had our times together. Now we're here having fun. Old Town got it. Thanks, subscribe. Thanks, Old Town. I appreciate it. Jessica, good morning. Good night. God bless you. How are you? And how was the day? The day was fine. Nothing really like too crazy for a Thanksgiving holiday. We all just kind of family came over. We all saw each other. We all talked for quite a bit, and then just kind of like went our separate ways. That's about it. I was the only I was the only kid that kind of hung around with my parents after all the festivities at our house ended, but yeah, that was about it. Nothing really much else. Is it a ref? Kuromi. Okay. How am I doing? I'm doing fine, man. How are you? What are we talking about, by the way? So typically, what we talk about, we just talk about tennis gear, tennis strings, rackets, shoes, stuff like that. But usually, the tennis talk always kind of like takes a back burner. We all just kind of like hang out, have fun, talk about whatever. So we're kind of in that hanging out, talk about whatever stage right now. But if someone does have a tennis question, we just plop right back over to tennis and just talk about that. So yeah, that's about it. Not too much else about besides that, man. Karam, what is my life philosophy? All right, we're getting wanting to go deep apparently. Uh, for right now, I would probably say just to well, since we only get one, we don't really get do overs. Might as well maximize the time that we're here and do a bunch of really cool stuff because at the end of the day, we won't no one makes it out. No one gets to keep playing forever, so might as well have fun, do what you want within legal parameters, as well as just maximize everything you can. I personally prefer having and working towards having a really big life because I want to do like a bunch of cool things. And right now I'm okay with like working more and more in my 20s to help achieve that for later on. But yeah, that's about it for me. That's how I look at it. Do what you want. Don't care what others think just because we all only get one chance. So that's about it. Miss Tierra, what's up? How are you? Drexen, no, I don't know what that means. Ozon, you read that Michael Chang used to remove the top grommets from his rackets to make them head lighter. I mean, he could have, but I don't know how. I don't think it would necessarily make that much of a difference just because grommets don't tend to weigh that much. But it would work because you are technically reducing the weight, but then you run the risk of breaking your racket when you string it more. So I can't really like I can't really like really say that's a great thing to do. Daniel, what up, white boy? Get some sunlight. Yeah, probably. Usually, especially during the winter, I just become as paler than Casper the Ghost. So, like a vampire would look at me and get blinded because of how little I get sunlight after the winter. It's crazy, man. Starboy, love you all. Well, thanks, Starboy. Uh, Murtaj, Murtaji, what's up? How are you? Draxton Best Channel. Thanks, Draxton. I appreciate it. Daniel, interesting question. All people are great, man. Steve, what was my first racket and what's my preference or type of racket? I.e., power, stiff, control, flex, spin, etc. So my first racket was it's actually over there. Let me grab it. Luckily, I still have it, but my first actual adult racket was the OG Wilson Ultra 100. This was the very first racket that was officially mine. Now, granted, I've not played it with this thing in many, many years, but this was my very first one. I got it as a freshman in high school, and they had just started making the Ultra line, or like this was brand new. They had just switched over from the Steam. So no, they had just switched over from the Juice. My mistake. But this was my very first racket. And now I kind of go back and forth between majority control rackets for my game instead of a power one like this, or I have been recently been a big fan of the Solinco Blackout 300 V2, which is a power racket and it is quite stiff, but the foam that Wilson put in, not Wilson, that Solinco put into it, has made the racket a lot easier on people's arms and it just makes it a lot easier for people to use. So I've liked that one a lot. But this is what I originally started with, Steve. The original Wilson Ultra 100. So the Ultra from Wilson will always have a little special place in this tennis player's heart, just because that's what we started with. Weston with the Christmas emojis, very nice. Marissa, hello, how are you? No, yeah, Mary. I think I said it wrong. I think it's Mary. Preston, what's up? Welcome back. Karen, am I spiritualist or a materialist? Define spiritualist for me, because I want to make sure I know the definition of the word before I say which one I would lean towards. Jessica, you don't know what Thanksgiving is for. You don't celebrate it here. Can you tell me about it? Yeah. So Thanksgiving is essentially an American holiday that it's basically an excuse for Americans to get off work and have another reason to party, because of course we like to do that. But basically, towards I think like the beginning or or some of the founding of the U.S., when the Pilgrims came over, one of the things that they did with the Native Americans was that they actually had a feast, and one of the main dishes was turkey, and so they kind of kept that tradition, and bada boom, they have now called it Thanksgiving, where it's a time for a bunch of people in a bunch of people in the U.S. to gather with their families, be thankful, be grateful, or again, be thankful, hence the name Thanksgiving. And then typically everyone that shows up brings some type of dish, and you all just pig out, because the other part of being American, most Americans are very into food, probably more than they should be. But yeah, that's about it. It's just a time for people to get off, to not have to go to work, to be with their families, say what they're thankful for, be grateful for their families, and just hang out and party a little bit. That's about it. Mary's from Brazil. Very nice. I believe that's Brazil. Jessica, I'm looking good today. Well, thanks, Jessica. I appreciate that. Charlie, you were making masquerade mask for fun, but it failed so bad, so you try again soon. Nice. MP, if Roger Federer was better at clay than grass, how would this affect LeBron's legacy? Not at all, MP. No, nothing tennis related will affect LeBron at all. Ray, did I serve in the military by any chance? I did not. I have family members that did, but I did not. Joji, just Thanksgiving it's about thanking what food you get. It's good because you can eat so much food. You can eat plus you can whatever you want. You're thankful for ice cream. Interesting. Okay. Drexen, have I ever played Tabs? Totally accurate battle simulator. I have not, Drexen. Bob, funny looking squash racket. Nice. Steve, haha. What's your opinions on the current ultras? Current ultras. See with version 5, since it just came out, I haven't necessarily hit with it too much or much at all. The very few times I did, one thing I noticed was that the middle of the string bed, so like if you look at the racket, I know it's hard to see because these are black strings and I'm in a dark room, but if you look in the middle of the string bed, the strings are a little bit tighter together, so it is helping to give the player a little bit more extra help with control. Whereas with most power rackets, the string bed is much wider, and so that's usually helping to give the extra power and give the extra spin, Steve. But the current ones, I think it's a good balance. I think Wilson did a nice job with them. I have heard many people, if they did not like Generation 4, then Generation 5 is very, very easy for them to get into. So I think they've done well with it. I would need to actually get it out and play with it myself, but I've always liked the Ultras for the most part. Gen 4 I was kind of like but this new one seems to be doing a lot better so far. Drexen, you don't play tennis, but can I explain the rules? Yeah. So Drexen, I'll explain singles because that'll be a little bit easier since there's not as many people playing. But Drexen, basically with tennis, I'll try and like draw it out, but you probably won't be able to see too much of it. But basically, you have tennis court and you have player 1 and you have player 2, right? So we'll just make this the court. That was terrible, but okay. So you have your basic tennis court. And basically, what happens, Drexen? Player 1 decides to they hit the tennis ball and they hit it to player 2, and it's called a serve. That's how they start the game. So player 1 serves it. It has to land in this specific box when they're on this side for the serve to be in. If the serve is in, the two people play out the point. If the serve is out, person 1 gets to serve again, and they essentially get a second chance. That's about it. But it has to still land in that same box. Now the cool thing is when you actually play out the point, depending upon who wins. So let's just say, to make it easy, person 1 is going to win all the points. So person 1 wins the first point, which is 15. So the score would be then 15 love, because for tennis players, love means nothing or 0. That's usually a joke the tennis community will make. As well as the next time they have to play another point, they switch sides. So now tennis player 1 is over here, tennis player 2 is over here, and then tennis player 1 has to serve from this way into this little square. He still gets his 2 tries though. And then you just keep playing points. So if player 1 wins again, the score goes to 30 love or 30-0. If player 1 does it again, it goes to 40 love or 40-0. Don't ask me why. They just decided to not do 45. They did 40 instead. And then if player 1 wins again, he wins the game. And the basic premise is you as the player want to get to 6 games, and you have to beat your opponent. So, like player 2, if player 1 gets to 6 games and player 2 has 3 games, player 1 wins the set. And you play 2 sets, typically. Most times, you will only play 2 sets. Usually, only professionals are ever going to play 3. So, your goal is to win as many games as possible to win the set, Drexton. And then after that, when you win one set, you have to do it all over again to win the second set. Because it's best 2 out of 3, typically. And that is a very, 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 very basic explanation of rules of tennis / how to play / what you will be looking at if you ever decide to watch or play tennis. Very, very basic. It does not go over everything, just because I think that would probably take a little bit too long. But that is the basic gist of it. It is essentially like a giant game of ping pong, but with a few more steps. All right. Charlie, what's up again? You said hello again. Freddie, I look like Cyclops. Interesting. Tim, or it's about thankfulness for the year's blessings and being with family. Yeah. That too. Drexen, have you played any of the Pokemon games? If you have, what's my favorite game? Yes, Drexen, I've played many, many, many Pokemon games. I've played games all the way from. Well, I never like fully played through the original, but I played the original I've played the original Pokemon Red, a little bit of the original Pokemon Blue. I've played Fire Red. I played Leaf Green. I played Heart Gold. And no, I played Soul Silver. I have Emerald right here on my desk that I never fully finished, but I played through Omega Ruby. No, I had Alpha Sapphire. I played through Alpha Sapphire. I played through Diamond. I played through Platinum. I played through Black, White, Black 2, White 2. I played through X. I played through Pokemon Moon. I played through Sword. I've also played through Violet. And now I just finished, most recently, Legends ZA. So I play a lot of Pokemon. But my favorite game is probably Pokemon White, just because Gen 5 is arguably my favorite generation, and it's the one that I have played that's the one I put the most time into as a player. So I'd say Pokemon White is my favorite game, just because I've played it the most. Charlie, Thanksgiving sounds fun, but you don't celebrate it because it's not celebrated here. That's completely okay. It's not everywhere. It says, I don't know what that number means, but okay. UPS, hello from India. What's up, bro? How are you? Jessica, thank you, Brody, for the explanation, and thank you, Joji, to you too. Very nice. MP, if those two are playing, LeBron's not even touching a racket. Ozone, have I watched Colt Tennis doc on the spaghetti strings? The racket only had 5 cross strings, and the mains had fur in it. Dude, that racket is so weird. I kind of really do want to play with it just to see what it actually felt like, but it looks crazy, Ozone. Like, I have no clue how that guy came up with it. I did watch the small documentary on it that Colt Tennis made, but it was a while ago. It looked insane. I'll say that. JX, I remind you of Nathan from South Park. I haven't seen South Park, so I don't know. I don't know if that's a compliment or not. Jessica, Brody, gonna go now. Got work to do. Good night. God bless you. Sweet dreams. Take care and stay safe. You're awesome. Thanks, Jessica. I appreciate it. Have a great day. Have a great day. I know it's probably early over there for you, but yeah, have a great day. Jackson. Oh, okay. Oh, thank you. You're welcome. Hosan. Okay, now explain the tiebreaker. No. Like I said, very, very basic overview, Ozon. Not, we're not going to dive into the tiebreaker right now. Sonali, hello, dear. You are Sonali, your friend from India. Well, what's up, Sonali? How are you? Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Skull, hello again from mid-air. What's up? What's up, Skull? How are you? Kingston, you're back. Welcome back. You love the glasses. Thank you. I appreciate it. Tony, did I gobble till I wobbled? You did. You overate. I did not. I did not wobble, Tony. I did gobble, but I did not wobble. But no, no. How you doing, man? Is the airport closed tonight or no? Ugh. NG, no, I'm not. Tony, it never closes. Oh, interesting. I did not know that. Okay. Zach, what's up? Tell me about you're off, missing out on that double time. Oh, double t- double time is pretty nice. Usually it's time and a half, but if it's double time, that tends to be pretty nice. I would think, Tony. Whoop. Have you learned how to levitate yet? Nah, dude. That'd be pretty cool though if I could. That would be sick. Majestic, why am I wearing sunglasses indoors? So Majestic, these are not sunglasses. These are blue light blocking glasses. So that way I can, after staring at my phone and computer for hours, that way I can just get better sleep, even if I don't get as many hours of sleep. Tell you, you've worked many holidays, but not this year. Anyways, you'd rather be off and not dealing with it. That's fair. I can appreciate that. I gotta go. I'm heading to work tomorrow for Black Friday, and we are both a little like worried because we don't know how it's going to go, but we're also just kind of like, all right, we've been preparing for this, especially all of our stringers. We've just been like pre-stringing some of the more common rackets we think are going to sell just because they're at such a high discount. So that's what we've mainly been doing at work. So we'll see how extremely backed up if we are at all tomorrow. It might be insane, but we don't know yet. Chicken, all you know is you think. Very true. That's that's valid, man. Peem, you're giving out thanks today. That's awesome, Peem. Good for you. Wise, what's up? Tony, you like the excitement and hustle. You have too much slow time. Enjoy the day. You've got this. Thanks, Tony. It'll be an interesting day tomorrow, but we'll see. As long we should be fine. I don't think I'll have to do it like last year where I had to do 15 days in a row because we were that behind with like stringing because I was helping out with stringing back then. I don't think I'll have to do 15 days in a row, but we'll see. It'd be crazy if I did. Chicken sediment vapor. Interesting. Charlie, welcome back. I get if you just came back. Do I like sharks? I don't. I would not like a shark if one was about to attack me. but I sometimes like looking at sharks. Yes. I don't think I would ever want to get in water with a shark. That to me doesn't sound like a great idea. Tony, dang, 15 days in a row. Wow. Yeah. 15 days in a row was wild, but hey, I wasn't salary, so I got overtime for it, and I was like, this is pretty nice. But 15 days in a row was a lot because that included Saturday and Sundays. Saying there's a problem with the world and you need to fix it. Depending on what the problem is, you might be able to. Tony, do you have a set schedule? How many hours per week are you normally scheduled? So I do have a set schedule in terms of like the days I work, Tony. Which so I'm usually at work from my work schedule is Friday to Monday, and then just because they needed help on the weekends, I was like, okay, yeah, I can work the weekends. I almost always did anyway. So I work Friday through Monday, and then after that, the hours wise, like tomorrow, Monday and Friday, it's typically as close to a 10-hour day as I can get. So I'm scheduled to get there like 8 in the morning and then leave later. I usually leave around like 5:30 or 6 sometimes, just depending upon how many rackets I've done as well as if there are any more rackets left to do before I can get another one done in time before the store closes. But that's usually for Monday and Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday, uh, it just depends. I can get there earlier if I want, but I usually don't if we're not busy. So it's Saturday and Sunday. I'm there the full day as well from open to close, basically. So I'm usually around 36 to 40 hours a week just from those 4 days. But it just depends on when we get there, how if I am able to leave earlier based off the rackets we have or anything like that. But that's essentially like my work schedule, Tony. And then I'm off of work Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Shohei, what's up? Camilla, hello, how are you? Chicken, I don't know what you're talking about. Charlie, you learned that sharks love to get their noses rubbed. Interesting. Did you learn that from firsthand experience, or did you learn that from watching a documentary? Yeah, you work 4 10s, but with bad weather this time of year, you'll probably work more. Yeah, that makes sense. Especially being for an airport and bad weather, having like all the delays and everything. I could see you having to work more for that, just to like make sure because everything still has to get done. Man, you learn it from watching a short video about shark. Yeah, I figured I was gonna be like, if you learned that from actually being with a shark, I would have been like, that's insane. Why did you do that? Tell me delays and diversions. Yep. Man, when I used to string, I used to suck. I'm looking at this racket because I know I strung this one because I have my stringing machine, and I this is synthetic gut I got to just practice stringing with, and I'm looking at my knots on on my racket, and I'm just like, these are awful. Like this would come undone in an instant, and I cannot believe how bad I was. Hassan, hello from Saudi Arabia. That's awesome, man. Thanks for being here all the way from Saudi Arabia. I appreciate it. That's amazing. Khan, what's up, buddy? Happy Thanksgiving to you as well, sir. Thank you. I do appreciate it. Yeah, these knots are terrible. Tony, your knots don't come undone, but I probably not like yours. I mean, as long as you tie off in the right place, Tony, I don't really care. Like, I know someone that, well, I don't. I know of someone that they do, like, their entire job is just to string rackets, and they still tie off in the wrong spot. Like, they'll have a head racket, and it tells you where to tie the string off at, and they'll tie it off in a different hole. I'm just like, why? It quite literally told you where to tie it off at. Why would you not listen to the manufacturer? Hassan, yes, I am from America. Tony, sometimes it says the top in a certain spot, but you can't, and it goes in a different spot. What racket do you have that problem with, Tony? Is it like an 18 by 20 or something? Don't you dare tell me it's your diadems, because I've strung your diadems before. You can very easily get to those tie offs. Charlie, if you add wings to a horse, they'd be called Pegasus, but you add a horn to a horse, they'd be called a unicorn. Great, crazy, Charlie. Hassan, what is your content about? Tennis? Yes, it is. My content, Hassan. If please tell me if I'm saying that right. I don't want to be rude if I'm not, but yes, my content is predominantly about tennis. That's just because that is my little area of expertise, and that is what I enjoy talking about. Tony, you don't remember, but next couple times you'll tell me nice. And I had all of those. You have a pegacorn. Interesting. Hassan, you're saying my name way better than most Americans. Don't worry. Yeah, I may be saying it better than most Americans. However, am I saying it correctly? That's the question here, buddy. If I'm not, please correct me. I don't want to be rude. I may be better than some of my other countrymen, but I would like to say it correctly because you deserve that respect, just like everyone does. Cotton, we are just horsing around here. Nice. Agent Blaze, yo, what's up? Yes, Tony, I did get that. That I was able to make the connection. Dang, I was able to. Ow. Yeah, can you repeat it so I can see how well you pronounce it? Yes. So when I say your name, I say Hossam. Tony well with Alcaraz and center. Too good. Evolved. Uh, I would say the thing about Alcaraz and center, I think those two have just put in more work than some of the others. And with Alcaraz, I think it may be a little bit more like how Rafa was when he first came out. You just never saw that much level of intensity from a player like when Rafa showed up. Like he just kind of like came in and bull rushed everything. That's why I think his symbol is like the Spanish bull is like the horns of it. But with not Sinner, with Alcaraz, he still has a lot of that same strength and power, but he just changes up everything so much, and he can just play almost any shot from anywhere on the court. I think that's just it. He can do almost anything, and he mixes it up so much that the other players aren't used to playing against it, and then they just don't know what to do. Sinner, he's just like Sinner is the epitome of like you master the basics and you win. Like he that is my like assumption and my findings of just watching Sinners. Like if you just practice the basics and the fundamentals and you perfect them, or you get very as close to perfection as you can, and then start to do a little bit and then do a little bit more, you have Sinner and you just win because you're consistent. And that's where I think that those two have their strengths. But Alcaraz can sometimes get ahead of Sinner because he is able to change things up a little bit more and throw Sinner off. But Sinner's now adding a lot more of that variety to his game as well. So that's why I think, especially with those two playing off of each other and just getting better and better after seeing what happens when they play against one another, they're just going to keep going, keep getting better because I don't think there's really anyone on the tour that can touch them right now. But we'll see what happens in this upcoming year. Luan, those are very stylish glasses. Kudos from Brazil. Very nice. ESC, what's up, man? How are you? What's going on? Horatio, hi. What would you say is the main difference between 16 by 19 versus 16 by 20 string pattern? So Horatio, 16 by 19, that one is going to be is going to help give you a little bit more spin and a little bit more power. The 16 by 20 is going to be a little bit more control oriented because that last cross string at the bottom, the 20th one, that's going to not allow the strings to move as much. And so, because the strings do not move as much or do not snap back into place as easily, that does not allow for as much spin or power to be generated from the string bed itself. Whereas the 16 by 19, you get more snapback, so you get more access to that spin and power. But the 16 by 20 with that final cross, since the string beds do not move as much, they absorb a little bit more of the impact. They stop the ball from shooting out as fast, and so you are able to place your shot a little bit easier. And that's where the 16 by 20 gives you that little bit of extra control rather than the 16 by 19, which is going to give you that extra spin and the extra power. So that's what I would say is the main difference between the 16 by 19 versus the 16 by 20 string pattern, Horatio. I hope that helps. If you have any more questions, please drop them in. You said awesome, thanks. Of course, man. Happy to help. Jackson, what's my favorite animal? I don't know. I don't know. For some reason, I was always a big fan of dragons. Like, I know they're not real, like, but I just always liked dragons. I always thought they were cool, and I thought they were awesome. So maybe dragons. Hold on. You've been here before. Maybe. Agent, why isn't there a join option in my channel? Mainly because agent, with a join option and channel memberships, you typically have because people are paying to be a member of the channel. Then there's typically perks associated with that. Some YouTubers do it as extra content. Some do it as early access to content. Some do it as members only live streams. Some do it as loyalty badges or like specific badges or like earlier access to or like a guaranteed reply to a comment on a video. But for me, I personally just haven't added a join feature just because I have not with the way I make the videos, I would not have anything extra to put out, so there would be no point for people to join it. And I don't want people just throwing their money throwing their money at me if I'm not offering something that I think would be worth it. Now, I'm very grateful for anyone that does say like a super chat or a super thanks here in the streams. I greatly appreciate it. It does help me out. But for right now, I don't believe I have enough to offer in terms of in terms of helping make a channel and in terms of warranting having a channel membership. And that is why there is not a join option for my channel. At some point, I may make one just because I think it would be a very very nice thing to do, especially if I am wanting to make YouTube my full-time thing. But for right now, because I do not have anything really of value to offer for one, I haven't made one. That's just me. That's my take on it. Let's see. Drexen, you love bearded dragons, nice. It's not 100% perfect, but you can't pronounce the letter H in Arabic, which is okay, because most non-Arabic speakers struggle with this. That's why, but you can try to search and see how it's pronounced. So I just can't say H. If is that the only thing I was doing wrong? Name, pronunciation. Let's
Hosam. 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 Hosam.
Why is it doing that? I don't know. I'll figure it. I'll figure it out. Okay. I'll figure it out. I'll work on it. Tony, can I believe Sampras had 14 Grand Slam titles, and then along came 3 people that all passed him, insane. We thought Federer would go down as the GOAT, and then Djokovic comes along. The big 3 have won all. Yeah, it's insane, Tony. It's insane how many Grand Slams those 3 were able to win while those 3 were all active. Like, that's insane. And then you have now Sinner and Alcaraz essentially like taking over the thrones, and those 2 pretty much winning everything, while everyone else just kind of gets like maybe they get a Grand Slam, if that. But it's crazy to think that there's that much of a domination factor when you actually look at the people that that have won the Grand Slams recently. Jackson, you said hi. MJ, you're back. Welcome back. Ratio, awesome. Thanks. Nice. Osam, you really like tennis, but sadly it's not really big here in Saudi. We play padel instead of volleyball, especially during holidays. We play for hours there. That's nice, man. I haven't got to play padel yet, I haven't got to play padel yet. I've seen clips of padel. It looks really fun. Like I would like to play it one day, but here in the U.S., I don't want to play it. I don't want to have to pay 100 USD per hour just to rent a court. That's not even counting buying a paddle and the balls and whatever else. So one day I'll play it, but we'll see. Let's see. Shaw, hey Brody, do you watch the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies? If so, what's my favorite in recent years? So Kushal, I have not seen a lot of Marvel. I've seen very few Marvel movies, but of the ones I have seen, probably my favorite was Guardians of the Galaxy, specifically because of the soundtrack. Like that's the only reason. But I've enjoyed a few of the ones that I have seen. Let's see. Noided. I don't even know what glasses you're referring to, and correct, I am a nerd. I enjoy being a nerd. It's quite fun. You should try it. ESE, so going back onto the 16 by 19 to 16 by 20 combo, have you tried them on the blade? If so, can you tell me how much has actually impacted the rack itself? Thinking about getting switching to it. So ESE, the blade does not come with a 16 by 20 string pattern. It comes with a 16 by 19 or an 18 by 20. So the 16 by 19 and the 18 by 20, very, very different. And the 18 by 20, especially on the blade, not very helpful at all in generating power or spin. You have to really do that on your own. However, if you want the racket to help you more with power and spin, to be a little bit more forgiving, that's where the Blade 16x19 comes in. So it just kind of depends on what you want. But the Blade, as far as I know, does not come with a 16x20 string pattern. Zion, what's up, buddy? How are you? I'm doing good. I'm doing good, man. Random, you have a friend named Brody? That's awesome. Apparently there's another one of me. Interesting. Zion, you plan on restringing your T-Fight 300 with Polytor Pro yellow 50 at 51 on the mains and 53 on the cross. How do you think, man? Thank you. Zion, what are you trying to accomplish by doing that? I would kind of need to know like what you want, what you're wanting the string to help you with, and to tell you what I think about it. Tony, you don't know. We've had animals throughout history that were pretty close to a dragon. Yes, but did they fly? Did they fly, breathe fire, and look cool? Charlie, yes, Tony. We probably had animals that were close to dragons, just like dinosaurs. Yeah, maybe. Kushal, did you know the religion Hindu was derived from the word Sindhu, which was the name of the people that lived on the banks of the Sindhu River because Arabs couldn't pronounce the letter S? I did not. Kushal coming in with the interesting facts. Charlie, you want to see me in a horror movie? Why? Where did that come from? Tony, the last time that Miami Open was held at Key Biscayne. Jeez, can't read apparently right now. Awesome venue. You were there, and at the Federer versus Kyrgios match, that's always replayed, and you see a lot of shorts on, and Fed won, and Fed best Nadal in the final. Nice. Excuse me. That was cool. That's cool that you were there, Tony. That's awesome. Titan, thank you so much for the jewels. I do appreciate it. It means a lot. Blaze, have you thought of having a Discord server of the channel where people are interested in tennis can join, share their experience, etc.? I've thought about having something like a community like that, Agent, but I would just have to see. I would just have to see. I don't know if I don't know if I would want to do it on Discord. I personally like Telegram. That's always been something that I've enjoyed. It's just like another sharing app, so Discord could work. I would probably maybe look into Telegram too, but I've thought about it. I just don't know if I would necessarily commit to it right now as much. I probably could, but I'm not sure. I will look into it though, sir. Ukel, what's up? How are you? Silk, you knew your first and last. Well, not your last. I'm another Brody. You knew him in fourth grade. He was bright and sickly and vegetarian. Interesting. Weird. Alar, play for you. You will pay $30,000 per month, only 1 hour. Play for you what? ESE, what's up again? You like my hair? It looks a bit like your hair, only better. Interesting. All right. Titim, hello. How are you? Ratio, am I excited about the new 2026 rackets, new V-Core, new Aero 98, a new Wilson line perhaps? I'm excited. I am excited for it. I'm very curious as to how everything is going to play and how everything's going to feel. I don't the arrows the thing I'm just kind of like I don't know how I feel about it yet. Just seeing some of the colors that I've seen online. I'm curious. I'll be curious to see how they launch it and how they go about it. But I'm interested. I really do. I really do. I really am interested to see what they all think. Now the new V Core that I saw, I gotta say, I'll preface it by I'm not typically a guy that likes to wear a lot of red. Now, granted, I'm wearing maroon. I don't necessarily count this as red. I'm talking about like this color red. I don't usually like wearing stuff like that, or I don't usually like having stuff that's this bright red. I got this as a gift, so I don't count that. But that new V Core that I saw, it looked sick. It looked great. I gotta admit, it really did. So I am excited for how that looks. No idea how it's gonna play, and I have no idea if they're actually gonna be able to get it to everyone in time because Yonex is having issues manufacturing stuff, as we all know. They've been having problems for a while. So hopefully they make it on time, but I'm not sure. But I am excited for everything. Tony, pretty close. They flew. Interesting. Interesting. Zion. All right. For context, your current strings Polytour Pro Blue on 50 pounds tension to you. It's a little bit too launchy, so you're planning to try different tensions on mains and crosses, tame the power a bit, and adding extra control onto it. Maybe I should just put 52 tension full bed. How do you think? I would say if your main goal is just to control some of the launchiness of Polytour Pro, and you just want and control is your big concern, Zion, I would just do all 52 and don't even worry about having different tensions on cross and spin. Well, cross and main, just because if your big goal and big concern is only increasing the control of your racket with Polytour Pro, going up in tension will do you fine, but I would just do it in 52 pounds so that way you're only testing one thing. If you don't like 52, you know, okay, this tension is either uh, this tension is either too tight or it's not tight enough, and then you have a much easier time figuring that out and honing in where you want it. Whereas if you do 51 and 53, you won't know if something's wrong whether or not you like the main tension or if you like the cross tension. So then you have to restring it anyway at 51 or at 53. And then if you don't, if whichever one you choose, you don't like that, you have to then restring it again at the other tension. So it can sometimes just lead to a little bit more of just it can sometimes lead just to getting your racket restrung more and just a little bit more money out the drain. So I personally would just go from 50 to 52. That's my opinion, especially if control is your main function here. Just adding slight spin. That's why you plan to do so. Yeah, I would probably just try 52 as a full bed, bro. That's what I would say. Gabriel, thank you for the jewels. I appreciate it. ESE, have I ever used Stan's mold? You actually have the 98D because you were not about to spend 500 on the racket. The only racket you're willing to spend that much that you've been considering is the Regna 98. So I have not used Stan's mold of his old VCore Pro 97H or 97D, whichever one he used. I have not gotten to use his racket. I've used the Perceps, but I've not got to use Stan's specific mold. I don't believe. Tony, that Federer versus Kyrgios match was awesome. Very highly replayed match, and look on Google Earth where the venue was held on Key Biscayne. So glad you went. Next year was moved to where it's held now. Gotcha. Very nice. Tony, who are you talking to about what language did you start speaking all of a sudden, Tony? Tidden, happy Thanksgiving to you as well. I appreciate it. Blaze, if I ever decide on having a Discord server, just let you know. You can help setting up the entire server. You build and manage Discord community service. Nice, man. That's awesome. I will definitely keep it in mind. Uh, Curtis, I have no idea who those people are, so could not tell you. Tony, you like the Babolat rackets in a 98 head size, very nice. Loshura, you're so ready for me like a $5 hot and ready pizza. Interesting, but I'm not Little Caesars. You really like the beer too. Interesting. Thank you. I appreciate it. That's crazy. That's crazy, Loshura. Charlie, you have a Discord server with only 12 members. Nice. Is it up here? Dom, what's up? How are you? What a strange thing to say. Yeah, I'd say so. Charlie, seeing me in a horror movie, it'd be very funny how you would try and deal with the monster. Okay. Interesting. We'll see. Well, if I'm in a horror movie, it's scripted, so. Let's see. Charlie, what's up? Tony, you saw the Regna on eBay for $500 to $600 or so. No thanks. That's fair. That's quite a bit. Zion, you see, great point. Totally makes sense. Thanks a bunch, man. We'll let you know around mid-December after you restring your T fight, if you don't mind. Of course, Zion. I'm here to help out as much as I can. Let me know. Let me know what you think, how it goes for you, and we will talk. And we'll talk about it after you get it restrung. Nehu, welcome back. Tony Bangladeshi, interesting. We're gonna play tennis, bro. D. We will at some point, Tony. You had tennis balls on a court at the U.S. Open and Indian Wells, not for long, but you did it. The one in Palm Springs seemed like a gritty court, really cool. Interesting. Mia, hello, how are you? Bilar, I don't know what that means. Nehu, I'm not calling you. What does that mean, Nehu? I don't have your phone number. Of course I'm not calling you. Isaac, where's that stuffed doll at? Are you talking about Kirby? Are you talking about Kirby, Isaac? Are you calling Kirby a stuffed doll? My co-host? Mia, you're good? What's going on here? So, Mia, what's going on here basically is the main point of the live stream is just so that way I can help out if anyone has any tennis gear related questions, whether it be about tennis rackets, shoes, strings, or anything like that. However, sometimes the tennis talk just kind of like subsides. Not everyone wants to talk about tennis, which I completely get it. But if not, we all just kind of like hang out, have fun, talk about whatever. And that's about it. Nothing too crazy. Isaac, where's Curbs at? Curbs will make his appearance at later in the night. My co-host will show up later. He's just not here right now. Nehu, what's up? You said my name. Zion, thank you for the super chat. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot. It really does, man. Thank you. Mia, oh, cool. Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well, Mia. Bilar, interesting. Tony Mac, Both Tonys are back in the chat now. There we go. Do I customize rackets? What specs do I use? So I don't really customize rackets too often. Like I've helped people customize their rackets, but I personally don't customize many of my own. Just because I'm usually fine playing with whatever the stock is. The only one I've really like customized was my Unix Percept 100D, just because I felt without adding a little bit of weight into the head of the racket, it felt a little bit unstable. So that's really the only thing that I've actually customized for myself. But yeah, I don't really customize my own rackets too much. I just help other people customize theirs. But so I don't really have a specific spec I try and get to because I just kind of like use whatever spec the racket has and just kind of like make it work from there. Balar and Nehu are just going back and forth. They're having a whole entire conversation. I can't understand. I don't understand because I don't speak their language. That's crazy. Zion, what's my daily frame, by the way? My daily frame right now is probably my Slinko Blackout 300 V2. But that's just because I just really like that one. But I also just restrung my Percept 100D. That was my daily frame before I got that blackout. But so I go back and forth between two, but it's one of those two. Yeah, I would say it's one of those two. Zion, Tony Gareth, you customize a little bit, but you're not good at it, and never make it feel better. Interesting. Okay, that's Charlie. They're speaking in Hindi. Yeah, I don't know. I don't speak Hindi, so that's why they're just having at it. They can have their fun. Tony Mac got it. Do I think 368 grams strung is too heavy? I think that is quite heavy. I don't necessarily. I'm not going to say it's too heavy just because it's based off of because tennis is all based off personal preference. But if you like how it plays, then by all means go for it. If you don't, then try and get it low. Try and get it lower, but it's all based off whatever you want. Max or buy an EV plushie. I did not miss Max. I started the live stream at 11 p.m. and then I streamed into the next day at 2. I think we ended at like around 1 to 2 a.m. So I did not miss, buddy. If you check the logs, the videos have the dates of when they were originally started. So I'm good. I have not missed, sir. Kushal, Balaram, don't do this stuff here. You are spoiling India's name. What? Justin Brody, what's up? That's a nice color on you. I love that color. Thanks, Justin. I appreciate it. How are you doing, bro? What's going on? Exactly. Interesting. Isaac, happy Thanksgiving. Welcome back, bro. I told you we'd be here. Nehu, but you only love me. Interesting. Not anyone else. Mia Toodles, you're gonna go eat some pecan pie. Very nice. Have fun. Balar, you're not Indian. You're from Pakistan. Interesting. Sorry, I don't know what the language of your name is, but you love the glasses. Thank you. I appreciate it. Zion, you see, before you buy the T Fight, he was a little confused on the Wild V2 or T Fight, but I have to find a good day on T Fight earlier than Slinko, so T Fight it is. That's okay, man. if you were between the two, I don't think you can necessarily go wrong with either or. I think both would do you fine, but if you got a better deal, you got a better deal. That's it. Tony, the 90 square inch in Wilson's heavy like Vegas uses the goat of rackets. Nothing compares to field. Drives me insane that they change good racks or stop making them. It's kind of like the same thing with shoes, Tony. Like people will find a court shoe that they absolutely love. They'll buy it forever, and then all of a sudden, Adidas or someone decides to just like make a completely different shoe out of it, and they stop making it. And people are just like, "Why? That's why we liked it." But I don't know. I don't get it, but they do it. Balar, Balar, you still have not said what I would be playing, and I don't understand like what you're asking me to do. Tony Lahore? I don't know what that is. Cotton, what did I eat for Thanksgiving lunch today? Cotton, the what I ate today for Thanksgiving was turkey. I did eat turkey, and that was it. Nothing else. Dark Souls, nice glasses, thanks, I appreciate it. Tamara, happy Thanksgiving to you as well. And do I have like a tennis team, or do you just do it for a hobby? It's mainly for a hobby, Tamara, but I do also work at a tennis retail store, so it is technically also my job to know how this stuff plays. So that's also why I do stuff like this, just because it works for me, and yeah, that's about it. Isaac, you saw WWE Survivor Series stage, don't have Tron screen? What does that even mean, dude? Hugo, finally a person streaming who isn't a bot. Interesting. What a how can you tell if a streamer is a bot, dude? I'm curious. What makes me different? Dark Souls, good to have you, Brody. Good to have you here too, Dark Souls. Faisal is Arabic. Interesting. Cool. Charlie, do I play any other games apart from tennis? Nah. Tennis, that is my sport. I don't really play any other sports besides it. This is the one for me. Tony Mack, how do you change the shape of the grip? Currently playing with the Tecnifiber TF40, but not a fan of the handle shape. You really can't, Tony. It's just like you can't really change the pallet shape without running the risk of damaging the frame if you try and like shave it down. You can sometimes try and put multiple overgrips over the actual base grip to try and round it out a little bit more and so you don't feel the pallet as much. But honestly, you're not going to be able to change it an extreme amount. It's just one of those things you kind of have to like deal with. X Panic. Oh, like the very non Vapor Nike Vapor 11s that weigh half an F150. Yeah, like those. When I first saw those come out, I was like, this is awful. They ruined the Vapor because it was so heavy and they completely went away from what the Vapor was supposed to be, which was their lightweight shoe. The Vapor 11 was the same weight as the Vapor Cage 4, and I was like, that's stupid. Those two shoes should never be in the same weight class ever. So yes, Patty, I am completely with you. Those Vapor 11s, not the greatest move from Nike. Now, granted, I do have a pair just to walk around in, but I cannot stand playing in them. Tony, good night, bro. D. Have a good one. Have fun tomorrow. Have a great day. I want you to think of Tony at least once. Do it at least once, Brody. Y'all, I'm falling asleep. All right, Tony. I will see ya. I will think about you. Apparently, that's what you want me to do. But yes, have a great night, Tony. Get some good sleep, and maybe I'll see you at the live stream again tomorrow. We'll see. Hugo, because people who are bots use AI, also be like a loop or something. Well, if they're like asleep or something, Hugo, then yeah, I guess the loop makes a little more sense. But all right, interesting. Zion, gotta go now. See you, man. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well, Zion. If you celebrate, thank you. I appreciate it, and hopefully I'll catch you at another one of the lives here soon. Charlie just sent a fish. Interesting. Isaac, I don't know what that means. Deep, what's up, man? How are you? Happy Turkey Day, guys. Happy Turkey Day to you as well, Deep. Check in before work in the morning. Very nice, very nice. Charlie, you apparently understood what Isaac was talking about. I didn't. Deep, oh, nice, bro. What racket is that? So, Deep, this was my very first adult racket, and it's the original Wilson Ultra 100. This is version 1, so this is what they originally came out with when they transitioned from the Wilson Juice to the Wilson Ultras. And so this was my very first racket that was like mine. And so someone asked what my first racket was earlier, and this was it. And I've just kind of like kept it out since and just kept it in my hands. Yeah, that's what it is. The OG Wilson Ultra 100. Let's see. Minnie, happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Charlotte, Welcome to Derry is a horror movie. Well, that makes Charlie, no offense, that makes sense why you heard about it. Horror movie. All right. You've even said you wanted me in a horror movie, but that's makes sense why you knew what it was. Pat, you got them on deal when you started playing again this summer after like 15 years away. The eyelets are crap as well and have broken and torn the laces on both sides, so we'll be sending them back. I don't think you're going to get anything out of them, Patty, just because if you've been playing with them a lot, I I don't think they're going to do anything, bud. Cotton, your favorite shoes was the Adidas Soulcore Boost, comfortable, very stable, and not too narrow. Cotton. You mean these? Yeah, man. These shoes, awesome. Because these, I actually got these on a deal. I did not think I was gonna like these because I thought they were extremely heavy, but these things did great for me. Like I really liked them. And then, of course, they got rid of them. They replaced this with the Cybersonic, and I was like, dude, no, not cool. This was so much better. And this was the shoe that Dominic Thiem won his US Open in. Like, this was the colorway, and this was that one he won it. He won his Grand Slam with. So I was like, oh, yeah, this one was great. Isaac, what's up? Will I be here tomorrow night on Black Friday? Yeah, I'll be here tomorrow night, Isaac. Jaya, thank you so much for everything and being here. Bro, you are so amazing, guy. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Jaya, as well. I appreciate the compliment. I really do. It means a lot. What's up, Phoenix? How are you? Deep, awesome. Got a soft spot for the Ultra Hunt. Yep, I do. I really do. Love the look of it. Retro in a good way. Yeah. Even though it came out came out around 2016. But yeah, it's cool. It's fun. Phoenix, welcome to Darius. So good. Interesting. Okay. Charlie, you love the horror movies. Yes, I do know that now. But no, Cotton, you said it, so I had to grab the shoe from my assortment of shoes that's on the other side of my room. That is one in the collection that I do have. So I had to at least show it off. But the fact that you had the same colorway is insane, dude. Devin, I'm sorry, I don't know what in the world you're saying to me. Isaac, that's crazy. You should probably stop smoking that if you haven't yet. Dark Souls Adidas, yep. Tomorrow, those are nice shoes. They were tomorrow. They were very nice. Isaac, what time? Isaac, probably around the same time as normal. About 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I would assume. Probably that's usually when I start. If for some reason I ever have to do it earlier or do it later, I will probably put a message out on YouTube just because there is the post feature on the channel, so that way I can just like send a quick message, be like, "Hey, tonight's stream will be at this time instead." But yeah, I will be here tomorrow. Time should be around 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If not, I'll let everyone know. Charlie, gotta go. See you later. See you later. Thank you for being here as always. I appreciate it. Phoenix, you're so bored. I mean, I guess I'm just boring. Okay, thanks, Phoenix. Great, great, great compliment. Isaac, this chat's only big enough for one of us. Isaac, that's crazy. If there could be two Tonys at one time, there can be two Isaacs. Boy. Yeah. Nah. Anyone else got anything? Hey, Phoenix, how's practicing for your audition going? You haven't mentioned it recently. Isaac, WWE Survivor Series War Games this Saturday night. Pizza Nova and Coca-Cola and cheese fries. Interesting. Okay. They moved the audition to the 13th. Why? Did they tell you why? I mean, you do just get more time to practice, but why did they tell you why they moved it? Arthur, I don't know who that is. I really don't. Phoenix, you've been kinda not that much, don't worry, slacking on the practice amounts because you're almost fully commented out. You know pretty well, and no, they didn't tell us, which is kind of sad. Well, it is kind of sad that they did not tell you, but girl, you can't be slipping on your practice. The fact that it feels easy right now is the exact reason why you have to do it so many more times, because then you'll just be even more prepared. And like I said last time, just muscle memory it. You won't even have to think. You'll get that first starting note, and then you'll just go. You'll kind of like black out, but then your body will know exactly what to do, and you'll just be good to go. Keep practicing, girl. Don't slack. Jose, thank you for the jewels. I appreciate it. It means a lot. Isaac, your mom doesn't like Ozzy Osbourne. Your mom called Ozzy Osbourne an old man. Well, he was older, so she's not technically wrong. You're not finished. You're not slipping. You still practice every day, just not the 4 hours you've been doing it. It's more like 1.5 to 2 now. All right. Okay. At least you're still practicing though. That's good. But that does suck that they moved it without telling you. That's crazy. What day was it supposed to be? Yeah, you get bored without practicing anyway. Yeah, so if you're bored, just practice more. It'll fill the boredom. It was supposed to be the 6th, so they moved it back by a week. That's redonkulous. Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, it really is. All right, cool. All right. So, as a let's see, cool. So as a heads up, we'll probably this tonight we will probably be ending the stream when we hit the 2 hour mark for tonight. That will be in about 17 to 18 minutes. So with that being said, that is what I'm planning on doing. If there are some chats that come through, I may be able to answer it. I may be able to answer them. If not, that's okay. But tonight will be ending at the 2 hour mark just because I do have to work tomorrow. I have to be there by 8 in the morning, so I would like to get some good sleep. And it is Black Friday, and I work retail, so we are probably going to be slammed, and I need to be prepared for it. So we got about 17 minutes, and then I'm gonna be getting on out of here. We'll all go back to our regularly scheduled days and whatever else we had planned. Bass, what's up? How are you? Think you've never seen chat this silent before? Yikes! Good luck. Yeah, thank you for the luck. And yeah, Emily, it's been like this before. There were many a times where it was, especially like when I first started streaming and everything. But I actually have a picture on my phone. It was relatively recent. I think it was like earlier. I think it was like last month maybe or the month before where I took a picture on the live. I don't know how long I had been live for, but the viewer count on the live was just 0. And I think I'd been live for at least like half an hour or so and no one had showed up. And I was like, well, this is one of those days where I'm going to document this so that way I can be like, all right, I did quite literally start at 0, and luckily now we got 12 people watching right now, and hopefully we just keep going up from there and have an even better time. Yeah, it was crazy to think that was like last month in October or something like that. Tomorrow, oh yeah, used to work in retail. Black Friday is crazy. Yeah, it can get hectic. Let's see. Isaac, there's a guy with a turkey on his head, 4 lives under you. What does that even mean? Oh. Oh, okay. I got it now. Is it a cooked turkey? That's a crazy question, Phoenix. Let's see, Patty. What are you looking for when demoing racks? You just started the process and took out an Ultra 100, a Radical Pro, and a V Core 98 to have one of each basic class next. One of each basic class last week. Got as far as you don't like the Ultra. Okay. So, Patty, the big thing that I tell people to when they're demoing rackets is that yes, you are looking for what you like, but you're also just as equally figuring out what you don't like. So, if you didn't like the Ultra, that's great. That's that's the exact reason for the demo program because now you know you don't like it. You don't need to really look into it as much. So basically, what that allows you to do is you can basically assume that a power racket is not for you right now. So you can pretty much eliminate most power rackets from most other brands if you did not like the Ultra 100. So with that, your Radical Pro and your VCore 98. The Radical Pro, that one is the control racket. The VCore is the spin racket. Depending upon which one of those two you like better. So let's just say, for example, you like the VCore 98. Then, because you like the VCore 98, if you're like, this was good, I still want to demo a few others, perfect. You now know that when you go back to demo, you want to demo a spin oriented racket like the VCore, the Babolat Pure Aero, the Head Extreme, the Dunlop SX, the Diadem Axis. You want to demo a spin racket with a 98 head size. So you've essentially just narrowed down your target racket to the VCore 98, the Babolat Pure Aero 98, the Head Extreme Pro or Tour, whatever they call it now, the Dunlop SX 300 Tour, and the Diadem Axis 98. So you've essentially eliminated almost all of the other rackets based off of liking one of the three that you did demo. But if there's certain things you liked about each one and certain things you didn't like, then you just have a much easier time if you're working with someone that's helping you with the demo process to know, okay, I liked this aspect of this racket and and I did not like the aspects of this racket. Where do I go from here? And then it's a little bit of an easier time figuring out what to try next or anything like that. So that's what I would say. That's what I would say is what you're looking for, Patty. It's mainly what you do feel comfortable playing with, but also what you don't like. So that way it's much easier for you to figure out what racket you do like and what to demo next to find your perfect racket for you at this current moment. That's what I would say you're looking for when demoing rackets. If you want me to explain anything else more further, please, by all means, drop another comment and I will help out even more. Sharia, what's up, man? How are you? Phoenix is a needed answer. Yes, it's a cooked turkey. That's crazy. I agree. That's crazy. What's up, new crew? How are you? Elijah, Brody, you've asked before and I don't reply. You ask again. Simple. Do I have a homosexual tendencies on a tennis court? No. No, I do not. Isaac, for real, YouTube Live's like interdimensional cable from Rick and Morty. I don't doubt it, Isaac. I have no doubt at all. Like I've not been too far down YouTube Lives, but I could see it. Uniforms, welcome back. As long as your question is appropriate, I can answer as much as I can. No, you cannot. Uniforms. Elijah, current top 3 rackets. I'm going to say this as as rackets I personally think would work well for me, not top 3 rackets in general because that's subjective. But for me, the top 3 rackets right now that I would play with One, and these are in no particular order. One is the Solinco Blackout 300 V2. Number two is the Yonex Percept 100D. And the third one, that would have to be the. What would the third one be? I don't know what the third one would be. Probably. Oh, Tecnifiber TF40 305 16 by 19. Those would be my three, Elijah, for my game personally. Let's see, Isaac. Did I watch WWE SmackDown tomorrow night? No, I will not be watching that. Phoenix, what did I eat during Thanksgiving? I ate turkey. That was it. Nothing else. Elijah, you question my second choice? Why? It was my list. I actually have my Perceptor right over there. Patty, yeah, you had a Gravity Pro out this week and enjoyed that. May have a look at the MP and one of the Percepts. So, Patty, what did you like about the Gravity Pro? Like, what was the thing that stuck out to you? Uniforms. You cannot send any amount of monkeys to raid your town. That is not. I don't think that would be allowed or cool of you to do. Elijah, Black Friday is such a nonsense marketing ploy. So technically, so was Santa Claus, but Santa Claus has just been integrated as such a big concept all over the world. So Santa is the greatest marketing campaign ever. Black Friday, I'd say, is arguably like second. Arguably. What about 500 giraffes? Giraffes? I don't know. Maybe, but probably still shouldn't do it. Isaac, you got a question. As a non tennis player, what is the theory of a good racket? How much better can one racket be than another? So, Isaac, in the beginning, as someone coming into tennis and not really played much before, not really played that much in general, a better racket versus a cheaper racket, probably not going to be a very big difference. You're probably not going to be able to tell much of a difference at all. Like, you would most likely be able to feel a weight difference or anything, but playability wise, you wouldn't necessarily know what you would not necessarily know what is going to actually be what is actually going to work well for you and what it's designed to help you with. Now, after you play for a while and you start to understand a little bit more of how spin is created by hitting the ball, how to hit the ball with the correct form, technique, and everything like that, that's when the rackets start becoming more prevalent. But in the very beginning, Isaac, the racket itself really doesn't matter as much. And that's why if like someone's getting into it for the very first time and they really, really don't want to spend a lot of money, I'm typically okay with them going to like a Walmart and picking up a racket from there just because it's strong, it's cheap. You can see if you even like playing the sport. And then if you don't spend a lot of money and you can just hide the rackets in your garage forever, or you can just like give them to a friend. But if someone is wanting to seriously get into tennis and then they are like, no, I'm going to be playing this for years, then I try and say, okay, let's maybe look into a little bit more of a slightly better quality racket because you know you're going to be playing for a while. Whereas with the beginner one, as you start to get better, it'll either break down quicker, it might actually just break, or it's not going to be able to handle the amount of power and spin that the opponent is putting onto the ball, so it's going to hinder your performance. That's what I would. That's why I would say the theory of a good rack and how much better it can one racket can be than another. But yeah, that's what I would say. Phoenix, you like uniforms thinking. All right. Cotton, have I tried the 2025 Speed MP Legend? It looks really sick with exposed carbon like the Pro Step V13. I have tried the Speed 2025 MP Legend, Cotton. I absolutely love that thing way more than the regular Speed MP that's out right now. I think the high bore technology works so much better in it, and so yeah, I I like the Speed Legends way better than the current ones. They're just more stable. They feel better. It doesn't feel as hollow or anything. So yeah, that's what I would say. Uniforms. Wait, what if you send 500 hungry, angry me's to raid your town? You'd have to figure out how to clone me, which I don't think we're able to do yet. So you can't get 500 of me. So you could try, but it's not gonna happen. Patty felt softer and more stable returning. Didn't mind the, in your opinion, very noticeable drop in power. Playing with the Artango Power Rack at the moment. Yeah, so the Gravity Pro, there's like you know, there. I'll say it's even more of an extreme drop in power because you have an 18 by 20 string pattern and a very thin racket beam. So with if you liked that, then if you are thinking about trying the Percept, then I would probably try the Young's Percept 100D, just because it's still going to be the same head size. It's an 18 by 19 string pattern, so it's a little bit more helpful generating spin and a little bit more helpful generating power patty. So that one may be one to look into as well. And besides that, if you want to go the if you wanted to go for the softer route, so the rack that's going to be a little bit more easier on your arm, like the Gravity is, but even easier, but sometimes it's a little bit less stable, then you could go with something like the Wilson Clash 100 Pro because that one is going to be the most arm friendly. However, it's not going to be nearly as stable as the Gravity Pro was for you. So if you wanted to try a few others, I think the Percept 100D compared to the Gravity Pro would do you well, just because it's semi similar to what you liked about the Gravity Pro. But if not, and the Gravity Pro is where you're leaning towards, the next time you get demos, I would get the Gravity Pro again and then get the other two rackets you want to try against it. So that way you have a very easy comparison right there with you and you don't have to try and remember how the Gravity Pro felt when you're playing with the new ones. You can just switch to it and go from there. That's what I would say, man. I hope that helps. Yeah, Elijah, please don't speak for me. I've told you that before. Isaac, USA Network, WWE SmackDown tomorrow night, LA Knight versus who? The last time is now tournament match. Interesting. Kingston, it's sad that the live ended. Yes, it was sad the last live ended, Kingston. This live is going to be ending here in the next few minutes. Like I said, we were going to end around the 2 hour mark tonight just because I need to prepare, mainly just go to bed because I have to work tomorrow being Black Friday in retail. So, yeah, we will be ending here in the next few minutes and we'll go from there. Uniforms, thank you for the jewels. I appreciate it. Phoenix, you also have to figure out how to get all of them hungry. Yeah. Uniforms, you feed them a single olive every day. Phoenix, you don't know if he's had an olive. I have not ever had an olive. So you would not be able to feed 500 me's an olive uniform. We have never had an olive. And we probably would not take one from you. Kingston, it's sad that the live ended. Yeah, man. We're coming down to the last minute or two of it. 33rd state. Hello from Oregon. What's up? What's up, Oregon? How are you? Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Patty, yeah, for sure. Thanks, man. Of course. Isaac, John Cena versus Dominic WWE Survivor Series IC title match. Interesting. Okay. Cotton, you were amazed by the Legend MP look. Now you say it's really good. You're considering selling the T fight because of the grip shape situation and buy the Speed Legend. Demo it, Cotton. Oh no, wait. You can't really demo, can you? That's the thing where you live, right? Like you don't have the option to demo as many rackets, right? Because that was one of the things I think. Hmm, yeah, if you can, Cotton, by all means, demo the Speed Legend 2025 before you do sell your T fights, just so you're not stuck with something you don't want. But yeah, if you can, definitely demo it. Phoenix, where has Keenza been? You miss her? I don't know, Phoenix. Keenza has not showed up. I think this is one of the first times she hasn't made it to a live. Maybe she's still sleeping. Like it's the weekend for her and it's early in the morning. So she probably just decided to sleep in for once. And I wouldn't blame her. Key matches attitudes era. Interesting. Okay. Isaac, do I miss Ozzy Osbourne? Not really. I didn't really listen to too much of his music and I didn't know him personally, so it's just like he's gone. Okay. Next. Phoenix, honestly, yeah, you'd sleep into. Yeah. Uniform, which is better, M22? I don't know, dude. I have no clue. All right, co-host, you have to make your appearance before we leave. As always, you have to make your appearance. It's co-host Kirby. Wouldn't be a live stream where in my room without co-host Kirby. He did make his appearance as he always does. But yes. So, cool. With that being said, Cotton, Kirby says hello back. Phoenix says she loves you, Kirby. Do you love her? Kirby agrees. He does. Uniforms, just stop. It's a stupid meme. I don't. It's not funny. Good night. Good night, Bruin. Good luck. Good luck for Black Friday. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm gonna need it. Absolute. Hello, Kirby. Hello. He says hello. Welcome. Thanks. Good luck tomorrow. Good night, man. Good night, Phoenix. All right, everyone. Cool. So, co-host Kirby has made his appearance. We have crossed the 2-hour mark. I'm gonna go to bed. So, with that being said, thank you all so much for being here. I do appreciate it. It really does mean a lot that you took the time out of your day to come here, hang out, just talk, and just kind of see what was going on. And I greatly appreciate it. So does co-host Kirby. So, with that being said, thank you again for everything. And as always, take care.